Hi, it's Lenneke from Len's Crafty Life, and I just thought I would share with you a de-trimming technique, as I call it. You probably know by now it's very hot here in the Netherlands. Inside it is 27 degrees Celsius. Down here in my living room, which is 80.7 degrees Fahrenheit. To me, and that's very hot. Especially for inside. I'm not used to that. But anyway, so what I'm doing, I can't go up to my craft room, which is in the attic. It's about 30 degrees up there, which is I think about 87 Fahrenheit. So I am de-trimming. I have all this fabric. This was like a children's dressing up bridal veil or train with all these beautiful embroideries on it. So I've been cutting these out. I have a whole bag full down here with scarves and clothes and tablecloths and you name it, with beautiful trims that I bought in charity shop very, very cheaply, especially for the trims. So I am finally getting around to doing that. So this one is the one that I unpicked with what I know now is called a seam ripper. Thank you for the ones who let me know. And but it was woven on or sewn on the fabric very, very tightly. So I lost my patience again. I like things quick. So I have now just cut out all these flowers, and you can see it's actually kind of like a see-through flower, which is very pretty. But I think these I will just cut out all the way around it, because when I use this I will probably stick it on, focus please, I think it's focused now. I'll stick it on a white background anyway, so I will cut very tightly with my fabric scissors, which work like a treat, behind this. So this will be the only one that's kind of like see-through. So if I change my mind about that, I can always unpick them later, but I think it takes too much time. Now this one I cut out very, very tightly. Is it in focus now? I hope it is. So you can see a little bit of the fabric here still behind it. And but you can't really see that in the front. So there was no fabric here in the middle on these larger pieces. So that is really nice. And actually I was thinking I still have to make my altered embroidery hoop for Sarah's challenge from Sarah's Shabby Chic Creations, and I thought I will cut one out, one of the larger doily pieces out a bit larger, because I have like a small embroidery hoop and I think this will go in there perfectly. So I'll probably use this for my altered embroidery hoop. I'm not gonna do that today because it's too hot, but at least now I am prepared. I'll pop a link to Sarah's challenge if you haven't seen that yet. It's the New Year's challenge that Shaz started from Country Creations. You don't have to send anything in. You can make it at home, keep it yourself, and the winner will pick the subject of what we will alter for next month. So please do check her out. She's had about 9 entries. She can do with some more entries, I think. Come on, ladies, participate. And even if you don't have an embroidery hoop to alter, any kind of round item that you can alter, like a lid of something. Somebody's used the lid, I think that was Shaz. And somebody's used like, I think that was Lynn Bentley. She's used like a sellotape kind of ring of a roll of sellotape that was finished. And she altered that. That's all fine. So please participate in that. It's just great to see what everybody comes up with. So let me get on to sharing the de-trimming technique that I learned right now. As you can see, this is quite a narrow trim, and the way I cut this off, I first started unpicking it, but it was just sewn on so tightly, and that was just no fun. And it's a trim that goes all the way around this small children's kind of dressing up bridal veil. So what I kind of figured out is, instead of just keeping it flat like this, let's see if I'm in frame, and hopefully in focus. So instead of keeping it flat like this and cutting alongside it like this with the risk of cutting into the trim, usually what I notice is that most trims are not sewn on all the way to the edge. Am I in frame? I am now. Sorry if I wasn't in frame. So most of them are not all the way sewn on and to the edge. So when you put it up straight, there is a tiny little bit, well, this one is sewn on quite tightly, but there's a tiny little bit of space that you can cut behind this trim. So what I'm doing now is I put my fabric scissors behind it. And what I'm trying to do is with my thumb pushing the trim up vertically against the scissors. You see, I hope you can see that. So push the trim up vertically and then the scissor blades kind of like slide behind it. I hope you can see that. You still have to be careful not to cut the trim, of course. And then you push it along with your thumb. Push the trim against the blade so that the trim itself is vertical and the fabric behind it is more like horizontal. And then you kind of cut as closely as you can behind the little trim without getting like the material behind it and with having less risk of cutting the trim itself. So I hope I explained that well. This one was sewn on quite tightly, but you can see, well, hopefully you can see that it, you know, it still kind of ruffles. You can pull this off or cut it off. But I think, you know, it depends on what kind of material. This material is frays very easily, apparently, so you just have to cut that off. But I think you get the gist of what I mean, of being able to cut behind the trim as tightly as you can to where it's sewn on by pushing the trim up vertically against your blade. So let me just do that one more time. This one is sewn on very, very tightly to the end though. So am I in focus? Let's see. I think I'm in focus now. So I push it up against the blade, then I hold it like this, and then I take it with my thumb and I push it up further along the blade so that I can go behind it as close to where it's sewn on as I can. Now here it's, the fabric is kind of bent over, but I think you probably get, come on baby. Yeah, this is a bit hard because the fabric, it's actually, I should have shown, you know, you see, I should have probably first ironed this out, but I'm not going up in my attic where my ironing board is now to iron this out. So anyway, I think you get the gist. I've said it a million times right now. Sorry about that. So the fabric, it's very close to the trim. Like here you can't see the fabric at all. It's just the trim that you see. So when you use this onto your make, you cannot see that there is a little bit of fabric behind it because the fabric is, oh here, this is a good part I think. Well, it's hard to see, it's white on white of course. But because the fabric is kind of cut back a little bit lower than the trim itself. So have fun with that if that's what you're doing. Especially in this heat here in the Netherlands, it should be at least for some time the last hot day, so which is great. And the positive thing is I finally get around to doing this. This is one of the jobs I always put off, but now I'm kind of forced into doing this because I cannot access really my attic. It's just too hot up there. So anyway, have fun, have a great day, and hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.